Walk day number 207. Thank you for coming along with me on my morning walk. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get going. Daily weigh-in. I don't want to talk about it. Just take deep breaths. I'll get through this. If you go on Google and type in those two words, reinvent yourself, you're going to discover that the whole concept has really shot through in the last 10 years or so. See, the thing about it is, when you think reinvent yourself, it flies in the face of a lot of common advice. You know, you hear people say, just be yourself, be proud of who you are, you be you. You know, those are phrases I've heard over and over and over again from friends and family. How do I reinvent myself and still be me? That's a challenge, right? But you can't be me if you aren't the person you're supposed to be. And that's the thing about having a chemical imbalance in your brain. If you finally get that resolved, that's when you have to start the journey. Because you weren't you. You never were. It's hard for people to get. It's hard for people to accept because, you know, you start judging yourself. You start questioning yourself. It's a rough road. But if you go on there and like I say, you Google those words, you'll see that it's not uncommon to find advice that you should reinvent yourself, say, every 7 years. Now, some of you may find that surprising, but I look back now over my last nearly 61 years, and I realize that, in fact, I have reinvented myself every so often. Sometimes you're thrown into these situations beyond your control. Sometimes they're just natural life changes, things that, you know, are part of growing and learning and being. And sometimes you're doing what I'm doing, which is becoming something that you were supposed to be all along. Oh, by the way, that's our swimming pool. I've lived here 25 years and I've never been in it. Do you realize how stupid that is? Me, somebody who needs to exercise, and I've never been in our own complex fucking swimming pool? That's going to change. That over there, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to feel comfortable with myself, and neighbors be damned. I don't care what you think of this. I'm going to do it because it's good for me. See, this is all part of the change. This is part of my reworking up here. What's good for me, I don't give a crap about what you think. So when someone says, just be yourself, that's just for now. If you feel the need to be a new self, if you've just gone through recovery from chemical addiction or alcoholism, or again, like me, you're going to be on a new discovery. Okay? That's just the way it is. I, of course, went through the first real big reinvention when I got to college. I suddenly now was living in a dormitory with complete strangers. They were evaluating me. I don't know if I want to use the word judging, but my neighbors my roommate was trying to figure me out, and that's just nature. Who am I? Who is this new guy that's sleeping across the room from me? So you have to kind of think about that when you're a freshman in college. Here's an opportunity now to express yourself. Maybe be somebody you thought would be, cool, interesting, fun. You have to make your choices. And that's where a lot of people make bad ones in college. You start trying to fit in, that peer pressure. But sometimes you have to do that just to learn. And you stumble and you fall. Then when I got out of college, again, I had to find a new life on my own, living in an apartment in St. Paul, Minnesota with a friend. Again, a chance to explore myself. I started to think about meeting people and all that. I can go on. Each time something happened. After my mother died, I had to reinvent myself. After my father died, I had to reinvent myself. I was living alone now. See, I wasn't with my dad anymore. Things happen, but sometimes you have to also do it on your own. That was my 2005 experience. I just looked at my life and I said, I'm spending a lot of money. I have these fake friends, people who just say nice things to my face, but they don't really mean it. And it's time to move on. Sometimes you just have to do that. Don't be miserable. Just move on. Reinvent yourself. Get yourself out of that situation, So we're going to have this topic again, obviously. This is, again, the overriding theme of this entire series. So we'll talk more, obviously. I have no idea how many of these episodes are going to be. Hundreds? Thousands? Probably thousands, huh? So we'll cut back to this. Have a happy hump day. Thanks for following me. I'm going to keep walking. I'm out of time. Bye for now.